Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Ba'ath Davadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. This lesson is entitled, Understand Your Own Demons. Understand your own demons, and why I say this is because by understanding your own demons, I'm talking about understanding the temptations, the temptations that you used to indulge in before you came to the truth. Understand why these certain demons are plaguing you. Because this was, before you came to the truth, this could have been something that you were into doing. It's a temptation. These demons there are they tempt you, but also if you look at it, it's like it's a reminder of what not to do. So by not allowing these demons to tempt you, you're remembering like, look, this is something that used to get me into trouble, or this is something that was destroying my life. You have to understand your own demons and why they're there. And the more you understand them, the less they plague you. It's like, it's more so it's like, I know why you're here. I know why you're there. I know what you're trying to do. It's not going to work. We're going to start off with the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13. 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. It says, Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith, prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. Okay? So, examine yourselves, man. Look at what the problem is. Look in the mirror. Look at yourself. Look past the physical features, all that shit. See what's really going on. See what problem that needs to be addressed. Okay, we should be examining ourselves every day. Because, wisdom tries us every day to see if we have been examining ourselves and learning from our mistakes. Learning from what? Learning not to be tempted by things and not, falling back into the world. Okay? Next is going to be Psalms. Psalms 139. Verse 23 says, Search me, O power, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. Okay? So we pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai to, to test us, to reveal unto us what is it that needs to be worked on. Like, what can I do to better myself? What can I do to get better, to be better? What is it right now that needs to be worked on the most? In verse 24, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So point out any of our flaws. If there's a flaw in us, the Lord lets us know this is what's wrong with you right now. This is what you need to fix right now. And lead me along the path of everlasting life. Okay. Next is Lamentations 3 and 40. It says, Let us search and try our ways, and turn again to the Lord Yahweh. So let us test and examine our ways. And let us turn back to the Lord Yahweh, man. So Ultimately, Yahweh Hashem Shai is the one that's examining and testing us to see if we truly, if we're sincere about repentance and redeeming ourselves. Okay? Not letting those demons that we know are nothing but temptations and snares, that we used to indulge ourselves in the past before we came into the truth. Because everything comes back around full circle. It just intensifies as we get closer to the end. This is what you did back then, and I'm going to bring it around full circle. It may come at you in a different manner, but it's going to be the same thing. Are you going to fall for it, or are you going to overcome it and brush past it? Okay, so that's why we have to be, careful in this walk, because this truth is a double-edged sword, man. It can not only cut the gainsayers, but it can also cut you too. Okay, next is going to be Romans chapter 7, verse 21. Excuse me. Romans 7 and 21. It says, if I find then a law, that when I would do good, evil is present with me. Okay, so we want to do what is right, and this is Apostle Paul speaking. So Paul is describing the struggles between what he knows is right and the sinful impulses within him. And that's why, that's why, where does it say? We walk after the flesh, but we do not war after the flesh. Let me see if, yeah, Romans 8 and 12, or, yeah, there we go. Romans chapter 8, verse 3. Or, hold on, that's not the one I'm looking for. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. Where are you at? 2 Corinthians 10 and 3. It says, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. Okay? We walk in this flesh, but we don't war after it, meaning we don't follow after we don't follow after carnality like the rest of these people do. They're all about pleasing their flesh. They're all about what feels good, what looks good. That's what they care about. Okay, but we are of a different fashion. So going back to Romans 7. Romans 7 and 21. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. So we know what is right, but we're fighting against those impulses that make us want to go off. Verse 22. For I delight in the law of the power after the inward man. So we seeking, our spirit wants to do righteousness. We're looking for righteousness. Our spirit wants to follow Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Because we're spiritually programmed that way. 23, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. Okay? So I'm gonna then that power and that, that with that another law in my members warring against the law of my mind, this power makes me a slave. I'm reading this in the NLT. Romans 7:23 in the NLT, it says, but there is another power within me that is at war with my mind. This power makes me a slave to the sin that is still within me. Temptation, demons. Okay? Because our flesh, it wants to do what is pleasing to it. It doesn't want to, the Lord made it that way. He made it that way. That's why it says in the roughly paraphrasing, resist the devil, he shall flee from thee. Right? Next is going to be Galatians 5:17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. So the flesh is what so our flesh is fighting against our spirit. The flesh is trying to get us to go off, but our spirit is fighting, constantly fighting the temptations, the demons. So, this is a spiritual battle. You have to resist all the pleasures, all the things of this life that seem so fulfilling, that make you feel so good and relieved and just, damn, I love that. I want to do it again. That felt so good. Okay? Those type of things, you have to let them go. Because it's not what Yahweh Hashem, it's not what our spirit wants or needs. Because our spirit is crying after the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the pure way, and the pure way is the hard way. It's hard because look at where we're at. It seems hard to us because we've been in sin for so long that we're so used to this. We're not used to what the Lord, is trying to get us to do. So it's like we have to retrain ourselves, get ourselves out of that mindset, that out of those bad habits. Okay, now Proverbs 4:23. It says, keep thy heart with all diligence, out of it are the issues of life. So, again, man, keep thy heart with all diligence. In fact, it means to guard your heart above all else. Guard your mind. You have to protect your mind from all this bullshit out here because that's all it is. You could be easily swayed or persuaded, or something may sound so enticing or so convincing, but it's that worldly sorcery where they use words, manipulation tactics to get you to basically to put you in a trance and make you think, you know what? Hey, well, I think I should try that. It might be worth it. No. That's why you have to guard your heart, your mind with all with all diligence, because it determines the course of your life, man. That's why it says here in verse 24, put away from thee a froward mouth, perverse talk, and perverse lips put far from me. So step away from corrupt speech that could get you to go off. And even if they get upset for you rejecting them, so what? So what if they get upset? To hell with them. In 2 Corinthians chapter 10, I'm going to start it again. I'm going to start at verse 3, or not verse 3, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the power to the pulling down of strongholds. Okay. Verse 5, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the power, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. So, it teaches this by using our spiritual weapons. We destroy every proud obstacle that keeps people from that keep you from knowing the Most High. We capture the rebellious thoughts and teach them to obey Hamashiach. But that's only for those who are willing to submit themselves and subdue their own understanding, willing to humble themselves and come to the knowledge of this. Because we're only seeking after the elect. Ultimately, yes, this truth is for our people as a whole, but right now we're seeking out the elect because that's what matters right now. The 2/3 are not going to get it because they've already chosen the world. Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai set them up that way. It's part of the curses. They have to be that example. But in the kingdom, they're gonna know. They're gonna know better. This is James chapter 1, verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. 15. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So if you succumb to your own desires and be enticed, it pulls you away from what is right. It pulls you away from this truth. And then once you indulge into that, it just, it bringeth forth death, man. It's going to take away what it's going to, pull you away from what you know is right. You know what is right. But yet, if you let this thing beat you and you do the wrong thing, it only makes you look foolish in the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and it also makes you look foolish in the eyes of the sincere believers because you're the one that's leading by example, and you get enticed by this or by your temptations or those demons. It's gonna make you look like a hypocrite, a reprobate. That's why going back to 2 Corinthians again, chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Hamashiach Yahushua is in you, except ye be reprobates. So you have to examine, and prove yourself that you're not going to fall for the many devices of the devil here. Because that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to bring as many of us down with him as he can. The elect will not be deceived. Lord willing that we are of the elect. So, in the book of James, he teaches that temptation can begin with our own desires and, if entertained, develop sin. So so the things that are tempting, you got to let them go. The things that are slowing you down, you got to let them go. So the book of James, chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to the Most High. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Plain and simple. In verse 8, draw nigh unto the Most High, and he will draw nigh unto you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Okay? So I'm going to read this in the NLT. James 4 and 7 in the NLT. So humble yourselves before the Most High. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Verse 8, come close to the power, and the power will come close to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, purify your hearts, for your loyalty is divided between God, the Most High, and the world. Double-minded. James 1 and 8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. He's a hypocrite, a reprobate. He sees someone that can't make up his mind because he doesn't know which side he's actually playing for. He's in that little, he's what you call the gray man. He's in between. Remember, there's no gray area with the Most High. It's either you're with him or you're against him. Okay. 1 Peter 5 and 8. And we all know this one. And this is a daily one. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil as a roaring lion walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Verse 9. Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. So stand firm against him and be strong in your faith. And remember that your family of believers all over the world is going through the same kind of suffering you are. And we are. We're all suffering. But don't let that be an excuse. Stand firm against this devil. Resist him. Be strong in your faith and what you stand for. Be strong in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and stand 10 toes down for him. So you have to stay alert and watch out, because this devil's going to do whatever he can possible to bring you down with him. He's going to use any and all and everything. Now we'll close out here with Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. It says, put on the whole armor of the power, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And the wiles is the strategies, the devices, the craftiness. So, put on the whole armor, which is the word. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's word is going to help you overcome this devil every single time. Okay? Verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. So when you read this, let's see. Let's try this one. No, not that one. Okay. Salakia, but against those, against spiritual wickedness in high places, principalities and powers and all that, talking about governments. In fact, let me get it in the blue letter here. We're gonna look up against principalities. Goes to Arche. The first place, the principality, rule, magistry. Okay? The magistrate. So, the principalities against powers, exousia, powers. Powers of authority, influence, of right privilege, the power of rule or government, the power of him whose will and commands must be submitted to by others and obeyed, the power of judicial decisions, authority to manage domestic affairs, jurisdiction, the leading and more powerful among the governments, the people who have control over things like the governors, the mayors, the judicial system, law enforcement. all that stuff. And it's, when you go to the word rulers here, it goes back to the Greek. I'm just gonna let the speak for that because I can't pronounce that word.
Strong's G 2888
Cosmocrator. The Lord of the world, prince of this age, the devil and his demons. A world ruler, an epithet of Satan. So, who's the prince and the ruler of this world? Satan. And who is his physical counterpart? Esau, Edom. So, this is the lowest condition we've been in, and this is the hardest battle we've ever fought. Because we're up against our wicked ass, evil, perverse older brother, Esau, Edom. So, as long as we have Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we got this. So once again, this lesson is entitled, Understand Your Demons. Understand your own demons. Lord willing, it was edifying to the elect and to the sincere believers and listeners. And with closing, I'd like to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath Davadah, the elect house of David that are scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, Wa Abad Babal, Shalawam, Barakatam.